Good evening and welcome to AI Match Sessions, guys. What we have here tonight is a perfect match and actually something that you don't see a lot in the industry. A proper full AI life cycle stack in the game. A connected intelligence system. Fieldstream brings the measurement, modeling, and performance intelligence layer. Golden Whale sit on top of it, orchestrating everything and be part of a great decision engine. I'm so proud that the AI match actually gets to witness this perfect match and collaboration. Now, guys, most operators buy AI tools. You are creating again an AI connected intelligence stack. Well done. And what is the difference? And why does it matter?
I think like anything, when you have a system, when you have a process, it's very easy to get caught up in a silo, right? It's very easy to use an AI tool to optimize a specific area of your business or of your function. And that can create value, but will always be suboptimal when compared to looking at a system holistically end to end. And I think what we've managed to do here with this partnership is to look at the full life cycle of a player, starting from the very leads, starting from how do you get the traffic? How do you build your brand? How do you monetize on your brand spend? How do you combine that with your affiliate traffic? How do you decide which channel to invest more of? Getting the players, register, convert them, look at their lifetime value as early as possible, and then how do you improve that lifetime value? And that's where Fieldstream hands it over to Golden Whale to make sure that we're not just using two separate AI tools, but actually we have created a stack that at the end of the day makes the journey much better for players and increases value and profitability for operators.
Claudia, what do you want to add more? What happened when?
I just said, it's really about looking at the whole life cycle of a player. And that's the first time I think in this industry where the whole life cycle is actually it's fully supported by AI capabilities along the whole road and connected. It's not silo. And that's the magic, I think, here, because what operators will essentially get out of that solution is the combination of both worlds, where you then know which marketing and channels to invest into, but also which part of incentives should you give to your players and extend the life cycle. So it's really from the first euro you spend in acquisition to the last euro your player spends on your brand and optimization along the life cycle of the player.
A layer, okay, in this stack breaks. We know that many operators invest heavily in acquisition, but poorly in retention. What happens when a layer breaks?
Acquisition, right? It's most probably one of the chunkiest cost elements on a P&L. A brand that would have just started is likely to spend, there's hardly any revenue, but you're spending a lot in acquisition. And then you start building your GGR, you start building your player base, and eventually you land with acquisition being around 30-40% of your GGR. Now, that's fine in getting the player, but how do you then monetize the player? And I think historically, but also as a model, we've always been skewed towards spending more on acquisition. And that's partly because it's a very easy lever to shift, right? I want more players, so I'm going to spend more in acquisition. And then when the players come, it's like, how am I going to retain them? And there's a whole process system that has always been very difficult to do. AI helps us now in segmentation and clustering, in matching bonus, the incentive to the generosity that we want, and then just testing and optimizing. So if that layer breaks, you're basically throwing acquisition money in.
I love how you both are actually moving from a quantitative game to a qualitative one. So
Like to add to that, there are two perspectives. On the one hand, it's about the player perspective, right? Because the player gets a much more consistent experience along the life cycle. And also, in the end, it's about, as you said, there's so much money spent, and there's so much money and optimization potential on the table, actually, because in the end, feeding leaking buckets, if we just spray and pray with marketing on the marketing activity side, but also on the retention side. We know, as a matter of fact, that only 15% of incentives are given out in a more effective way. There is a lot of potential on saving money, but also spending it more wisely, while at the same time making the player experience rather smooth in comparison to what it is now. And from a technical perspective, maybe to add to that as well, the beauty of the collaboration is how we feed back the signals into both directions, right? So on the one hand, what Fieldstream is developing on the marketing side feeds our models in terms of making better decisions on the retention side of things, whereas our lifetime value predictions on the side of Golden Whale feeds back into the marketing channel. So it's really about spending efforts and money on the right type of activities rather than just thinking on one side. And I think at that point, we should also mention how important the right data foundation is. And this whole collaboration is also came together with the help of Deloitte Malta, who are actually doing exactly that, helping companies and organizations going through that transformation process that is necessary to unify data sources. And
when we want to ingest data from an operator, there's a process that we've become quite good at in doing the different integrations and getting that data. And the Golden Whale need to go through the same process. So if we work on this together, basically we do the integration once and then the customer gets double the value of that. And on the feedback loop, something that keeps on changing and has improved a lot is, of course, the cadence of that, right? I've done 16 years with B2C operations, and we would maybe revise how we are allocating acquisition budgets once a quarter or maybe once a month. Now, with AI and machine learning, that can be done in almost real time. And same with CRM and player retention. We would always talk of, and event calendars are still important, promo calendars are still important, but there's a big significant shift enabled by technology and by AI to go from this kind of batching process to a real-time one-to-one approach where retention is not just on a segment, but actually each player is a segment to himself or herself.
Personal law of this collaboration is that you are one of the few solutions that not only implement AI, but is running AI. So well done. Golden Whale, Fieldstream, Deloitte for this amazing collaboration. I'm super, super happy to have you here tonight. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
To be here, and you are presenting us for the first time, and it's great to do it in such a great event.
Perfect
Thank
match.
you.
Thank you.